Hi everyone, welcome to the Fire Artisan channel. I'm Drew. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see here, then be sure to subscribe. Really appreciate it. Still in the early stages of growing the channel, so every subscription counts. Today we're playing some Selesnya Cats. I got a request from one Abigail Houston to build a Cats deck. She said that she's been messing around with this tribal, and so I took a look into it. I mean, this is obviously a deck that I'm really excited to make. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people are doing dogs. Not as many people are doing cats, and it seems to be generally understood that the dog cards are a little bit stronger. Pack leader especially, 2-drop, pump up all your other creatures. Dog seems really hard for the cats to compete, but I did my best with it. I looked at a bunch of the decks that other people have posted, just cats tribal decks. A lot of people are in 3 colors. A lot of people are doing Naya decks. So, and there are a lot of good cats spread into red. So that does make some sense. Cats are kind of a little bit all over the place. So building this deck has been a real challenge. I'm the type of person who likes to have as secure a mana base as possible. My thoughts are, with this type of deck, if we're going to be, and obviously this is putting a priority a little bit on being remotely competitive as opposed to being sort of pure fun, like let's do 3 or 4 colors and just shove all the fun cats in one deck. My thinking is maybe we can make this deck pretty competitive, or at least remotely competitive, good enough to beat some of these top tier decks, at least every so often. So I sort of cut it down to Selesnya colors. I think in general the best cats are concentrated in these colors. Now what that's going to enable us to do sort of really easily is to make Kaheera our companion. Now I'm not really sure why I'm just seeing the back of the companion card in this layout, but Kaheera is our companion here. And sure enough, obviously every creature card in our deck is, in our case, either a cat or a beast. So let me take you through the deck. It's mostly cats. I did play with a few beasts in Lovestruck Beast and Questing Beast, just because they're such powerful green cards, and I found them to be pretty necessary to make this deck a little bit more competitive. So yeah, I'll take you through the list. So Charmed Stray, just kind of the best, probably the best 1-drop cat. It can put counters on other Charmed Strays, so you do want additional copies if you land one early in the game. It has Lifelink, which of course is going to trigger a Johnny's Pride Mate. Again, another one of our best cat cards. Now Garrison Cat is interesting. It's basically a Hunted Witness, except the token doesn't have lifelink, which is a little bit of a shame, and it's not a cat or anything like that. But other than that, it's a pretty solid card. 1-drop cat, 2 bodies in 1 card. So I think we're more than happy to play with it in this kind of deck. Now Flourish, maybe a little bit controversial. Back in the days when people believed that Selesnya Adventure was a competitive deck, and in my opinion it's still very good, you saw a lot of lists with 4 of these Flourishes. Remember Reed Duke played with 4 of them, and he really believed in this card. It's it's a double-sided card. I think it's really valuable. It is surprising how often, even for a simple 2-color deck like this, the mana is awkward, and so Flower can really be an essential and affordable way for you to fix your mana a little bit. Sometimes it's a way to smooth out a draw of, say, I drew 2 planes and I really want to cast my Bronze-Hide Lion on turn 2, right? So you can fix your mana appropriately. And another way that Flower can be really useful is, let's say you're a little bit stuck on 3 lands. Sometimes on turn 3, you can play a 2-drop plus Flower just to make sure you have that 4th land for turn 4 Questing Beast or Cub Warden that you really need. So that's my thinking there. And you know, even though we're only playing 22 lands, with some of the early kind of boost, the mana boost, I guess, from Flower and mana consistency from early Flowers, Flourish is usually castable, you know, significantly later on in the game. And, you know, Flourish gives you some kind of unexpected swings that can often be game-winning swings or just game-shifting swings where suddenly your opponent is on the back foot instead of you. Now, with Johnny's Pridemate, I touched on, we don't have a ton of lifelink in this deck. That's not really, I didn't really build the deck around lifelink, so it's really more incidental than central. We've got 4 copies of Charmed Stray, 3 copies of Cub Warden, which itself has lifelink and creates 2 lifelink bodies, and we're playing with 1 copy of Lurrus. So all in all, that's 8 lifelink cards. Now, it's not the end of the world if we're not getting triggers on the Pridemate, obviously. It's still a 2/2 cat for 2, which is, you know, okay. In a pinch, it's like good enough. Now, Glass Casket, kind of the best way to remove creatures in these colors, most affordable. Obviously, Conclave Tribunal is another option, but we're not really weenie enough for that. We only have 8 1-drop creatures, so Conclave Tribunal is not quite where we need to be. Bronze-Hide Lion is a really, really strong card, surprisingly strong card. You know, for one thing, it's a 3/3 for 2, which is already totally playable in our deck. And then it has the ability that it can gain Indestructible, which is obviously relevant against a variety of different strategies. And furthermore, when it dies, it sort of comes back attached to a creature, giving that creature Indestructible. So all in all, just really an excellent card, where it's obviously kind of our best, usually our best starts involve something like Charmed Stray into Bronze-Hide Lion. No, you know, Charmed Stray into Johnny's Pridemate is probably better, but Bronze-Hide Lion is just an excellent 2-drop in our deck. Feline Sovereign is the reason to play a Cats Tribal. It's it buffs up your whole team by 1, and it has an interesting incidental ability where it can destroy artifacts or enchantments just whenever you deal combat damage to a player with a cat. And, you know, we have 24 cats in this deck, so that's very likely to happen. And, you know, in this metagame, that's actually been really relevant. I think I've played maybe 3 or 4 best of 3s with this deck, or various permutations of this deck, and that ability has come up a number of times, and it's made this deck a whole lot more competitive to have that play against artifacts and enchantments. So we're playing with 3 copies of Lovestruck Beast. Not a cat, but it is a beast. So it does get pumped up by Kaheera, and it again allows Kaheera to be our companion. Yeah, it's not a cat, but it's just such a strong card and really an essential card to make this, to kind of boost the power level of this deck. You know, it's a 5/5 for 3. We can play something on turn 1 if basically gives us additional 1-drops, which is important for this kind of deck. So, you know, more than happy to play with it. 1 copy of Lurrus. I was messing around with 2 for a while, but, you know, this deck isn't, I mean, Lurrus is great. Lurrus is always great, but this isn't really a great Lurrus deck in the sense that our 1 and 2 drops aren't all that good. It's not that powerful to bring back a Charmed Stray or a Garrison Cat for 1. And a Johnny's Pridemate is definitely the most powerful thing to bring back. So in that sense, Lurrus is pretty good. But Bronze-Hide Lion is awkward because it doesn't really go to the graveyard, right? it just comes back as an aura. So you can't really use it with, can't recur it with Lurrus. I think if you could, then Lurrus would be a little bit better here. Okay, so Cub Warden is our most powerful cat. We basically always want to cast it for its mutate cost. And yeah, it just comes onto the battlefield, creates 2/2 tokens. This is especially, or excuse me, 2 1/1 tokens, but it basically feels like a Tristani when it hits, because usually we have either a Feline Sovereign down or a Kaheera down when the Cub Warden hits. So it actually puts a lot of pressure on the board. Usually it comes down and basically creates 2 2/2s with lifelink plus, you know, 3/5 bodies. So Cub Warden's pretty excellent. And then Questing Beast, I mean, I was having trouble finishing off, especially some of these slower decks. I kept getting my opponents down to, you know, 3 life, 4 life, 5 life, something like that. Roughly Questing Beast territory. And, you know, then they'd be able to stabilize, because my next turn would be just casting something a little bit too slow. So yeah, I just thought, you know what, it's a beast. It's just one of the best cards in the format. More than happy to throw a few of them in there. You could even play with 4. I guess I just wanted to split the difference a little bit with Cub Warden, because again, Cub Warden is just pretty excellent in our deck. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking there. 3 Questing Beasts. You can take a look at our mana curve. I think it's pretty good. A lot of people building this deck were really greedy with their mana curves. You know, 3+ colors, like 15 3-drops. So here's what we're doing. You know, you can see we've got our 8 1-drops, and then Flower is kind of another 1-drop option. We've got an additional 3 1-drops from the sorcery side of Lovestruck Beast. We've got 8 2-drops, and then 2-drop creatures, and then 4 Glass Caskets. So very likely to have our early plays. This is, you know, obviously a highly tempo-oriented deck. As far as 3-drops, we are playing with 8, 4 Feline Sovereign key card, and then, you know, 4 spots between Lovestruck Beast and Lurrus. And then I figure 6 4-drops isn't great. It is a little bit greedy, at least for me. But I think with Flower Flourish, we can kind of make it work. In my experience, we've definitely been getting to 4 lands in this deck, no problem. And Questing Beast is just such a valuable card. It really just wins you games. So more than happy to make sure we get to 4. Sideboard is complicated. Making this sideboard was really tricky. So Devout Decree, Disenchant, pretty standard sideboard tech there. I like playing with Vivian, Champion of the Wilds, because she is pretty strong against control decks, and very annoying because you basically turn into a flash deck if you put her down. Conclave Tribunal, not as sure about this one. I've seen, I don't think I'm going to play with it. I just saw a build of mono white aggro that, you know, had pretty good results, that was playing with 1 copy of Citywide Bust, which I was really interested in. So you know what? Maybe I'll even just throw that in right now. So we're playing with 1 copy of Citywide Bust. I mean, I'm only tempted to bring this in because I had a really painful first series with this deck where I lost 2 games in a row to Naipak Ambusher, and I just had no answer to it because I only had Glass Caskets in the deck, and I didn't really have any great tech in the sideboard to deal with it. So that's when I decided to bring in Conclave Tribunals, and now we're bringing in Citywide Bust. Divine Visitation, this one comes straight from Li Shi Tian. He submitted a mono whitelist about a year ago where post sideboard he would actually board into sort of a bigger token creating strategy with Divine Visitation. at the high end. And yeah, the idea is he would basically just be relying on Castle Ardenvale to make these 4/4 angel tokens. Now we do, in our case, have 3 copies of Cub Warden, as well as, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. So that can also create tokens, but honestly, Castle Ardenvale is enough. And we have another copy of Castle Ardenvale coming out of the sideboard, and I usually board the Castle Ardenvale and the Divine Visitation in together. Get a little bit bigger, focus more on the late game creating tokens. So, yeah, this thing's another beast. Really powerful card. I've been really impressed by it. Excellent mirror breaker against other creature decks. And yeah, that's pretty much why we're playing with it. Finale of Glory. Fans of the channel will know that I'm a huge fan of this card. We just made good use of it in our mono white control deck that I played yesterday. So hopefully it'll see some play here again. It's just another card you want to bring in after sideboard, maybe on the draw if you want to get a little bit more powerful. So that's what we're looking at here. Selesnya Cats. And again, this was Abigail Houston's request. And yeah, I really appreciate her making that request. It's, you know, it's great for the channel. It's, she's been a huge supporter of the channel. And yeah, I really appreciate that. And so I'm so happy to have made this brew. I mean, it was a really challenging deck to make, just because there are so many ways you can go with it. Sometimes these sort of silly tribal decks are actually really difficult to build because, you know, they don't have a lot of inherent, wow, this is actually a pretty good hand. Yeah, they don't have a lot of inherent power, right? So you just need to be really, in a way, it's easier to build a deck, right? If you know, like, you're just playing with all the best cards in the format. Like, say you're playing Bant Ramp. It's like, where can you go wrong, right? Teferi, Shark Typhoon, Elspeth Conquers Death, Uro. You're just playing with all the best cards in the format. But with this deck, you're playing with a lot of the worst cards in the format. So you have to, you just have to really, oh, wait. Hang on, I need to think for a sec if I want to. Yeah, sorry, I really can't talk and play at the same time. When I rewatch these videos, I'm always like, oh, you idiot, like mistake after mistake after mistake. But yeah, the truth is it's really hard to talk while you're gaming. So keep that in mind when you're watching people game or you're watching people stream. It's really difficult to play well and talk at the same time. All right, I think I'm actually going to be a little bit conservative here, especially since I don't have any immediate life gain to speak of. I think I'm going to do Garrison Cat plus Flower this turn, just to make sure I keep these lands coming. This is my favorite, well, at least one of my favorite planes here. All right, looks like our glass casket has been stolen. We'll see if the opponent wants this trade with Gutter Bones and the Garrison Cat. Doesn't seem like a great trade for them, so I think looks like they're gonna leave it back. All right, well, this turn actually looks pretty solid. A Johnny's Primate plus Charmed Stray. And attacks aren't great. We seem to be playing something like mono black aggro here, which fans of the channel will know is very close to my heart. Knight of the Ebon Legion. That's a scary card. Oh, this is great. We did draw our 4th land for Cub Warden. So I guess we'll just put this on the Garrison Cat. Be sure to mutate. Yeah, that seems good. Put the Cub Warden on top. And I don't see any reason not to start attacking this turn. Well, at least with the Cub Warden, there aren't really any other great attacks, are there? So sending the Pride Maiden is almost good, but it just gets double blocked or trades with Gutter Bones. Garrison Cat is bad. Charmed Stray is bad. So I think it's just Cub Warden. Yep. All right. Yeah, Serrated Scorpion. I don't... I have to say, I am not a believer in the strength of this card in just a straightforward aggressive black deck. Now, that's a card, Spawn of Mayhem. That's a card to play with. All right, now we look to be in some trouble here. We no longer have an attack, as far as I can see. Well... yeah, it's not a great attack. I think we're doing that this turn. So Cub Warden gets double blocked. Probably just kills a Serrated Scorpion. And that would only trigger the Pride Mate once. Yeah, it's a bad attack. It's a bad attack. Yeah, I think I just have to hope my opponent just overexerts on this attack. Maybe we can swing back with the lifelink and just hope they mess up on the combat math a little bit. I also think Kaheera will be pretty valuable once we get, I'm going to say her down. Oh, Rankles, pretty good. They definitely have the flying advantage here. Interesting. Yeah, they don't attack with the Spawn of Mayhem there. I think they are a little bit intimidated by the strength of our counterattack here. Yeah, that was a pretty good play there. Ooh, Questing Beast. That's pretty good. Is it anyone else? I don't think there are any other good attacks. I think it's just Questing Beast here. And do we play out the land? No, I think I'm going to hang on to it. Maybe we're holding up like something like a fight is won. Or, yeah, combat trick. Some kind. Alright, they're going to get aggressive with the Spawn of Mayhem. Alright, they're going to send in with both the flyers. Wow. Alright. So we're definitely going to have to be aggressive on this counter swing here. I wonder what they're going to have Rankle do. Everything. Everything sounds good. Alright. I think we'll sacrifice the Garrison Cat. Wow, we look to be very nearly dead. And do they still have 3 lands to pump the Knight? I think they do. I think it seems better to play this. This is a complicated attack step. So, okay, we have the ability to gain 6 life. Questing Beast has vigilance. I think I'm just going to send everyone in. Yeah, this is a very complicated attack step. Okay, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Well, now I'm wishing I just put the Pride Mate down before combat, but yeah, I think we're looking dead either way. We're looking dead no matter what, just to these flyers. All right. Yeah, that's painful. Yeah, I think there was just... I think they just had us with the flyers there. I don't think there was an attack. I mean, obviously I should have played the Pride Mate before combat, but... yeah, I think they just kind of got ahead in that race, and we needed to answer those flyers. Be interesting to double check some of those earlier attack steps, but I don't think we really had a way out there. Sideboarding should be pretty straightforward. Let's bring him in. Lost the flyers. Huh. The only reason I'm eyeing up Vivian is because she can give stuff reach, and we did just lose to flyers. I'll think about that. I mean, let's see. So it only kills Spawn of Mayhem. But Glass Casket does not kill Spawn of Mayhem. Oh, Devout Decree. That's a better answer. I think we... Oh, no. No. We don't want to get... We don't really want to get bigger after sideboard here. And I think I'm going to leave Vivian out because Devout Decrees are just strong enough, I think, to answer what we need to answer. Maybe I'll consider Divine Visitation, though. Disenchant, that's fine. I think I'm just going to take out some of our low impact cards here. So we have 4 Glass Caskets, 3 Devout Decrees. We did put in Divine Visitation. I think what I want to do instead of Divine Visitation is the Finale of Glory. It tends to be really strong against other creature decks like this. Yeah, this looks pretty good. This may be a situation where if we miss our, we don't draw land this turn, I may just take it slow. I think I am going to do that. All right, yeah. So we're doing fine so far. I think I'd rather just let this through. Hopefully Lurrus will be pretty good this game. All right. I think it's probably just Lovestruck Beast here. Biggest creature on the board. And, you know, we can definitely... No, actually we can't, because they can attack with the Scorpions and we'll just lose the life. So if they want their Spawn of Mayhem, they're going to have it here. Pretty aggressive stuff from them. Ooh, Cub Warden is pretty good here. Is that the play? I think that's the play. Yep. Oh. Oh, we can't mutate onto a... Oh, it's a human, that's why. Oh, brutal. That's hilarious. Okay. Well, change of plans. Well, I guess it's just Lovestruck Beast. Yeah, I always say that the Scorpions aren't really that good, but it looks like we could definitely lose to them here, so I guess I stand corrected. All right. Yeah, they continue to deplete our resources here. A little stuck on lands. I think we'd like to see more lands so I can just start double spelling a little bit more. Oof, another Noxious Grasp. Good stuff from the opponent. Alright. Hopefully their removal will run out eventually. We do have a Devout Decree. Christ, another Noxious Grasp? My god. That's, oh, so much removal. Alright, well finally they can't just slam into us again. You know, this is almost looking a little bit awkward with Cub Warden. Let's start with the Scry here. Yeah, Glass Casket seems pretty good. I think we'll keep that. Yeah, I think I like just casting the cub warden here. I think we have enough tokens. And I guess I feel some pressure to just fill out our board a little bit more quickly. Alright. We're going to get hit by Rankle, and they're going to make us discard, aren't they? Don't make us discard the answer to Rankle. No, they don't. All right. You know, I don't love that they didn't just activate Gutterbone's ability there. That makes me think they are pulling up another Noxious Grasp. Let's start with the Primate and then go to combat. Okay. Yeah, this is really bad. Oh, wait. Okay. Did they think that would kill the cub warden? I mean, I certainly did for a minute there. I guess what they're thinking is that I don't have an answer to Rankle. Yeah, Feline Sovereign seems pretty good. Now, all they have is that Scorpion. Do you Glass Casket the Scorpion? It's an interesting question. So if they just attack with it, I just get hit for 1, but I have a ton of life gain. I think you don't Glass Casket the Scorpion, actually. I think I'm going to wait for something better. It is a little awkward with Glass Casket, though, because their best cards are probably Rankle and Spawn of Mayhem. And, yeah, Glass Casket doesn't answer either of those. I think I can go down to 3. Okay. So this does prevent us from taking any damage this turn, which frankly I'm really thrilled about. Alright, I think it's definitely Feline Sovereign time. And, you know, I believe we've started to take over this game here. We'll put Kaheera in hand, and yeah, we'll see what sort of cards they drew into. Oh, it's a Liliana. Okay. Yeah, we just have lethal here with the Glass Casket. Shouldn't be too much to think about. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I think I was right that Citywide Bust would have been pretty bad. This is game 3, though. Is this where you play the Divine Visitation? Lifelink is really important here. I think the play pattern seems to be that we fall behind on life and then kind of win the late game. So I think I just want to continue to make sure that we win the late game. So let's see. I'm not even sure that I want to make any changes. I think this is a pretty good configuration. Yeah. I guess I'm almost tempted to drop a copy of Flourish for another castle. Maybe drop a questing beast for divine visitation. Just to really ensure that we have the edge. This game goes, hopefully when this game goes long. So yeah, I mean, in terms of role playing, we're definitely the control deck here. And, you know, this opening hand really really lays that out for us, actually. I think it'll be Fabled Passage. I think I'd like to guarantee my second white source with this Fabled Passage. Alright, opponent either doesn't have a turn 2 or they're just going to remove something on turn 2. A little awkward for us because we don't have a play on turn 2 either. Not sure how thrilled I am just to Glass Casket their Gutter Bones. Is that the play? Yeah. I mean, it's not going to come back, right? All right, good. They don't have a Black Lance Paragon. That's what I was afraid of. All right, interesting. They are not playing anything here. So I think it's Feline Sovereign. Maybe that just gets removed right away. But I think I would rather this get removed right away than the Lurrus. All right. I think Spawn of Mayhem. I think we'll respond with Questing Beast. Now we do need an answer to this Spawn of Mayhem. Or else I think we're just going to fall behind in this race. Then again, like, we do have a big... Oh, Christ. Yeah, they're definitely winning the removal war here. Oh, man. That's a really disappointing draw. Really need those Devout Decrees here. I guess Cub Warden is our best bet. Well, that's just brutal. Noxious Grasp is definitely the mirror breaker here. Discard the Primate that we can get back with Lurrus if we draw a land. Yeah, this is really, really, really rough. I think it's just another Cub Warden. Got one more draw step to somehow turn this game around. They're going to discard their last card. So this is another game. They have drawn 3 of their Noxious Grasps, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah, this game's over. That's so disappointing. Not even clear what the best play is. I guess I'll just do finale for 2. Good stuff for the opponent. Lots of noxious grass, lots of removal. I mean, that, you know, that's where kind of green-white colors tend to be weak against. Discard the lion, because we'll get it back with Lurrus after we lose this game. Oh, another spawn. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Noxious Grasp, plus our lack of finding our Devout Decrees. I think it's fair to say the combination of those things lost us that game. Yeah. You know, I mean, I guess that's a case where the citywide bust would have been good. I mean, just to kill the one spawn of Mayhem. I mean, like, if we had survived another turn and then we had citywide bust in our hand to just play that to kill both those spawns of Mayhem, that would have been hilarious. But, you know, they still had a Liliana on 6, and we were so far behind with life totals. I think we just lost that game pretty convincingly. Yeah. So thank you for watching. This has been Selesnya Cats. I've had a lot of fun playing with it. Still kind of ironing it out a little bit, smoothing out the wrinkles. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's fairly competitive. I mean, you know, it's not one of the best decks in the format, but considering it's sort of a silly tribal deck, I think it is pretty good. I mean, as you can see, we were pretty competitive here. I mean, the games 2 and 3 didn't exactly go our way. Oh, was it the first game we won? Yeah, no, we lost the first game. Yeah. Games 1 and 3 didn't go our way. But we were on the draw, so this game went along play-draw lines. So, yeah. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe if you like what you see, if you like my decks, if you like my videos, and I will see you next time. Yeah, thanks again.